Let us go now to lesson 3. Okay? So, lesson 1 was about study. Lesson 2 is about learning. Lesson 3 is about participation. Okay? Right. You begin to recall your previous experiences in class as a student. Okay? In what ways, class, have you participated in class? In what ways? Can you quickly type in your answers? Oral recitation. So that means that you stood before the class and recited. Okay? Anyone? Asking questions. Saying amen. Solving problems on the board. Okay? As a clarifier. Doing a report, project presentation, joining activities, okay? Okay, reporting, doing a research. Mahiya, hindi nakipag-participate. Okay, listening, okay? All right. Reporting, group activities. Okay, so if you notice, class, that most of the things that you typed in involved you like doing a solo thing, like you report, okay, making a presentation. Here one is asking questions, interacting. Someone is an editor. Or you participate in group activities. Okay. Okay, somebody has been reading her notes. Facilitator. Okay, so that's good. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. That gives me an idea. All right. So, you see, class participation is important. There are studies that suggest that student participation in class can be beneficial to learning. However, there are also studies that suggest that student participation sometimes can be a nuisance. So which of these was your experience in the past? Was your participation helping in the learning of the class as a whole? Or was your participation or the participation of some of your classmates was a nuisance? Has that happened? It has been beneficial for you. Have you had experience where, the participation of a classmate or of some classmates had been a nuisance in class? Learning. True po. Okay. Yeah, sometimes. Right. So that is why it's important, class, that we learn how to participate in a way that will benefit the teaching learning process. Yes, sometimes some just talk nonsense. Okay. What's pabuhat? Depends. Okay. So, now, here in Berean Online, we ask you to participate, and I think you understand that we are actually reading your chat here, and there are some people who are actually monitoring your responses in the class. Okay, and when we get our groupings, then we can have some group discussions. But I'm really sorry that they have not. Oh, they have already. Okay, so they're not done yet. Okay, they are not done yet doing the individual channels. They are just done up until letter C. So after they are done, class, the tech team are done, then we can group you, make groupings also. Okay. Ang iba kasi pasaway sa grupo. Okay. So, as I was saying, participation is good, but it has to be done in a way that is benefiting the whole class, okay? Because this is the principal class. As learners, students play a crucial and active role in the teaching learning process. I believe you understand that already. It is a cooperative effort between the teacher and the learners. But this is the principle, okay? The more the student participates, the more he learns. Okay? The more that you will participate, I think you had been told, actually, class, we have automated the monitoring of your responses, and our tech team assigned can actually see who among you are actively participating. Okay, and so we will be reviewing that. But it is good that even in this online setting, class, to the degree that you are able, I understand, some are working, some probably are still traveling and already attending the class. I remember my daughter-in-law was a Starbucks manager in Iloilo. She was part of BSM Online Batch 2. And there will be times that she's on duty during our class. So what she does is she had her headphone, and while making some coffee or managing the coffee shop, he is listening. So during that time, sometimes she cannot actively participate or type in her responses. Or some are still traveling while attending the class. So what I'm saying, class, is to the degree that you are able, as much as possible, participate. Okay? Because the more the student participates, the more he learns. Your participation is an indication that you are observing the law of the learning process, which is thinking into your own mind, okay, the truth that is being presented. Because, you cannot say amen, or you cannot make a comment unless you really are listening and understanding what you heard, and then you make a response. Okay, so please, it is to your benefit that you participate. Okay, and we will be teaching you more how to participate in the online setting. It's okay, Celeste. You are still not too late. All right, so that's the principle. The more you participate, the more you learn. Now, so the question is, in what ways will you participate? Now, earlier on, you have typed in some ways that you have participated, like you said, listening, reporting, making a presentation, and a couple said facilitating, and another one is discussion. Okay, so let me introduce to you tonight more ways by which you can participate. Okay, so this is what we would call, class, roles in a classroom experience. These are the ways students can participate in class in a manner that is beneficial to learning. You see, the teaching learning process in a class setting should be a cooperative effort of both teacher and student. students can contribute or distract the process, depending on what roles they play during the class session. Okay? So imagine, class, like in a play, no? Or in a game, like basketball game. Okay? You know that in the basketball game, how many people are in a team? In basketball? How many members are in a team that plays? 5 or 12? I get varied answers here. Okay. 5. Okay, the ones that will play 5 in court, right? When it's, I think it's 5. I used to play basketball when I was in high school. But you see that 5 team in court, when the play starts, when the game starts, each one has a role to play, diba? What you have, the forward, the guard, what else? Okay? Yeah, what do you call them? Point guard. Okay, so each in the center, all right, each one has a role to play, right? It's not just that all four of them are in the court and to just run in all the same direction. No, and that is why they play as a team, okay? Because each one has a role. Okay? Do you understand that? So imagine, class, during a class session, take the time that we have a class as like we're having a play. We are working together to accomplish something, to reach our goal. Okay? And so each one of us should be deliberate in playing a role in class that will benefit, okay, the whole class and will contribute to the learning process. So as I have said here, you can either contribute or distract the process of learning depending on the role that you will choose to play. Okay? So what are these roles? Okay. Let us look into these different roles and their descriptions, and for you to understand what they are, I'll give you some sample statements that indicate that a student is playing a specific role. Okay? Let's get over the basketball game now. Sige pa rin kayo. Okay. All right. Shall we go now? Let us look into the different roles that you can play in a class session. Okay. Role number 1. You can play the role of an initiator, class. What does an initiator do in a class session? An initiator is one who suggests discussion topics, or one who presents new ideas and solutions, or one who makes way so everyone has a chance to participate. So, you heard me say the word deliberate, because listen, class, if you want to contribute in the class learning process, you have to be deliberate. What kind of role should I play? And this is one that you can choose to play. Take the role of an initiator. And so here are some sample statements that indicates that you are playing the role of an initiator. You would say something like, oh, this is a good point to start the sharing. Or, can we proceed to the next point? Say, for example, you find it that the discussion have stayed longer than it should be in a certain point, well, an initiator can say, can we proceed, please, to the next point? Okay? Or you can say, oh, I think we have discussed this point long enough, and it's time for us to go to the next point. Okay? Or an initiator is someone who would say something like this. Can we also hear the opinion of? Okay. You can say, oh, I can see, say one of your classmates is trying to raise his hand, or, can we hear his or her opinion? So that class is an initiator. Okay. Have you played this role before? You see, I was saying again, class, you have to be deliberate. And, personally, I practice this, and I would come up with statements to signal that I'm trying to initiate something. Okay? Yes, that's good. Okay. All right, that is good. All right. So that's the first deliberate role. Let's go to number 2. The next role that you can play, class, is you can be an information giver. An information giver is someone who offers personal experiences and opinions. He gives relevant facts, illustrations, and information when needed. Okay? So here are some of the statements that that indicate that you are doing the role of an information giver. You can say, after so much discussion, you can stand up something like and say, you know what, I have read in the news today that. Okay? So, and what you're going to share is, offering more and relevant information to the topic. Okay? Or you can say, allow me to tell a brief story to illustrate this point. Okay? Or something like, I have here the most current data about this thing we are talking about. Okay? So you see here, an information giver, you can share news, you can share a relevant story, a relevant illustration, or a relevant experience, but do not consume all the time by telling your experience to the detail. Or you can present some data. Now, this is good, class, as an information giver. I remember last year, we had a few students, and I believe there are some in this class, who are very quick. We are having a discussion and sharing, and some students, there were a few students last year who were very quick, that immediately would post like a definition of some of the terms that I'm showing on the screen. Or they would immediately post a relevant link, a link to a relevant item that illustrates the lesson. So even with the information technology now, you see, class, you can really be an information giver. Okay? So you learn how to do that, because the information that you would give would enhance the learning. Okay lang? Huh? Kaya na po ako kaklase? Oh no. Hey. Oh, like that? Sorry, class. Nobody called my attention, but I already shared screen a while ago. Okay. Let me go back, please, for the sake of everyone. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Wala namang nagreklamo sa inyo na hindi ako naka-share screen. Okay, it's my fault, my bad. Okay, let me go back so you would see what I've been talking about. I'm really sorry for that. Pag Alright. Okay, let me go through quickly. I'm really sorry. Okay, so this is lesson 3 on participation. Okay. I said, and I emphasize this, that the more the student participates, the more he learns. Okay? But you see, participating in class can either contribute or distract the process depending on the role that you play. So I have started to illustrate to you some of the roles that you can take on during the class session. Okay? These are the roles and their descriptions and their sample statements. Okay, the first thing that I told you is to be an initiator. Okay. Thank you for being kind, Sophia. I don't know. There are just so many things before me. I have so many dual screen, and I have here the you just didn't know what I have here in front of me. Okay, anyway, so be an initiator, and these are some of the sample statements that show that you are okay, ang galing yun. All right. So, like, it is a good point. Can we proceed to the next point? Can we also hear the opinion of? Salamat lang na monitor ni Jairi. No? Hindi ako naka-share screen. I don't know. All right. So, and then the second one is an information giver. This is a very good role class that you can do. And salamat na nakikinig kayo. Galing ninyo naka-print kayo ng copies ng notes. Salamat. Okay, let's go to the third role. So we have the initiator, the information giver, and let's go to number 3. Okay, the harmonizer. The harmonizer. This one is friendly, warm, modest, someone who agrees, who commends, accepts contribution of others. And sometimes he is someone who settles arguments or encourages others by nodding in agreement or helps keep discussion on target. So parang police ito siya. Parang he watches that, the conversation, the discussion, the class are all in one page, okay, and limits, the clashes of ideas. So here are some of the sample statements that you can use actually as if you want to play the role of a harmonizer. You can say something like this. In a discussion, let us expect differences in opinions and ideas. We can learn from each other. And so we are enjoying this, okay? Another one, you can see that the seemingly varied ideas actually have something in common. Okay? Or a harmonizer can say, oh, that is an interesting point. Can you relate that to the earlier point that was made? Okay. Because sometimes somebody has shared a real good point, and then somebody starts a good point na parang hindi yata makonect kaagad. So the harmonizer would signal that, a connection should be done. Why bring up that point if it is irrelevant? So that's what a harmonizer is watching for. Or a harmonizer can say, whoa, what was the original question asked? Perhaps he has noticed that the flow of the discussion has gone way far away from the original question. Okay? Salamat. Okay? It's hard for me to be harmonizer, especially when class starts at 7 a.m. Yeah. Hindi 7 p.m., ha? All right. Okay, so, this is another positive role, class. Okay, and another one. Let's go to the next one. The clarifier. The clarifier elaborates on others' contributions. He asks for additional facts or further ideas, helps to explore all sides of a problem, restates problems or ideas presented, connects current topic to past topics or overall course themes, and clarifies for the group, not only for self. I really want to emphasize that, class. If you want to play the role of a clarifier, play the role, especially if you notice that a good number of your classmates seem not to understand. Do not be a clarifier just for yourself. Okay? Be a clarifier for the group. Okay? So you can say something like, if I may say this in another way, or let me rephrase what has just been said. Or you can say, is this what you mean? Okay. Or can you please clarify this point? Or you can say like, can you give an example to illustrate the point? Or I can see that point is related to what was earlier taught. Okay. So you clarify things. Okay. Kung nakikita mo na parang kumukunot na yung noo ng mga classmates mo, well, it is time for you to arise and be a clarifier in class, When I was a student, especially in the university, this is the best role that this is the role that I like best to do, class. I sit there, modesty aside, I was then studying in UP Diliman, and I had been trained in discussion and sharing. And then when martial law was declared, my parents had me to go home. And so I ended up enrolling in Central Philippine University. Anybody here from CPU? In Central Philippine University in Iloilo. And I was trained and I was used to coming to class ready to discuss. So when I joined CPU, I found myself having to restrain myself from always being in a discussion. So whenever there is a discussion, I would sit down and I would deliberately keep quiet. But I would play the role of a clarifier. So I would listen to points that has been presented, and I see to it that if there is anything that is not clear, or there seems to be some contradiction, or there seems to be that the points presented, they seem to be relevant or similar, but it's just that they were not presented in a clear way. So I would always sit down and I would play the role of a clarifier. Yes, Epifania says, tagapagpaunawa. Okay, yan pala yung Tagalog. Tagapagpaunawa. Thank you for giving us that Tagalog term. I'm very bad in Tagalog. Tagapagpaunawa. Good. Perhaps you can give us the Tagalog terms for the other roles, Epifania. Okay. Yes. Yes. Parang bridge. Tama yan, Arnel. That's right. interceder. Okay? Kasi parang parang papaaway na yung iba dyan eh. So you intercede so they will be in good terms. Okay. Harmonizer, tagapag-ugnay. Ang galing nyo sa Tagalog. Sige nga, i-trans... tagapamagitan. Okay. There will be no way that I would know those Tagalog terms, class. I'm sorry. I'm very poor in Tagalog. Okay. That's good. Thank you for those. Okay. Thank you for being information givers. All right. So, let's move on. Clarifier, okay? Tagapaglinaw. Wow! Clarifier, tagapaglinaw. Okay. I like those words. I think I should take note of those words. Tagapaglinaw. Okay. In a class, if I attend a worship service in some places, let's relax a bit. And they would sing a Tagalog song, okay? And so I would start singing and worshiping the Tagalog song, and then a word comes that I cannot understand. So bigla lang mabablanko yung mind ko. And I would turn to Pastor Ray, what is that word? So maganda na sana yung worship ko, and then bigla lang may word na hindi ko naunawaan. So that's how bad I am in Tagalog class. Now, Mary Jane is giving us an Ilonggo term, pagpatinaw. Okay, are you enjoying this? All right, let's move on. Okay, I'm still on stream. All right, reflector. Okay. The reflector is one who listens to what others say and explain it back in his or her own words, asking the original speaker if the interpretation is correct. This is kind of like a clarifier also, class, but in a more specific way. And a clarifier, a reflector would say, allow me to say in my own words what you said. Or you can say something like, correct me if I am wrong, or I might have missed something. Okay? So you see, I have given you here, class, some statements, because it is always good that if you are going to play a specific role in a class discussion, that you start with phrases like this that I have given you to signal that you are playing a specific role. Okay? Let's move on to the next one, a summarizer. A summarizer provides a summary of the discussion for other students to approve or amend. And a summary is a brief statement or a restatement of my main points. So this is another good role, class. As a summarizer, you can say, allow me to state the points that had been shared so far. Okay? I like also doing this because I like, listening to lectures or listening to presentations and outline that in my mind. Okay? So at the end, it will be good to play the role of a summarizer. Or you can say something like, given this information, what conclusions can we draw? Or you can say something like, when we add it together, what does all of these mean to us? Okay? Okay. Tagabuod. I don't know. I can't understand that, Conrado. Sa Tagalog, I'm really sorry. Tagabuod. Yeah, to sum it all up, you're giving a concise version or an abridged version. Okay, so you're getting all the point, class. So these are good roles, right? Initiator, information giver, a clarifier, a reflector, and a summarizer. And here's another role. Someone who is a motivator or a champion in the class. This guy may not really say much or may not actually present new ideas, but he just stays positive and he reinforces progress made in the discussion. So he would say things like, "That's very helpful. Thank you for giving that point. Keep on." Or, "With the talent of this group, we can do this." Or probably like, after giving the discussion, with all the ideas that you have given, I think we can come up with a project. Something like that. He's a champion. Okay? So, he's a cheerleader. Or you say you're an encourager. Okay? Now, I'm glad that you're beginning to give your ideas here, class. You definitely are playing good roles, the good roles in a discussion. O yan, ang motivator, tagapagbigay sigla. Thank you, Jim. Fire up. Protons. Positive talaga. Moral support, yes, that's true. Okay. Support others. Okay. A ray of sunshine. Eto, sabi ni Chris, yung bumubuhay sa grupo. Tama ka dyan. Okay, gives enthusiasm. Okay. Okay, thank you for being good participants, class. Parang serotonin daw. Okay. Palakas loob. Yes. Thank you. Nangunguna. Is somebody who is a motivational speaker. Ano ni? Mary Jane, pala ka maayuhon. Alright. Barnabas. Okay. Alright. That's a good point, Imelda. Tagapag-udyok. Okay. Alright. You're coming up some words I don't even understand. But anyway, thank you. It's very good. It's showing that you really are participating now in my class. Tagapagpalakas. Okay. Right. Now, so, those are the roles, class. Some of the roles that you can play. But someone can just be neutral. Here's one role, class. Somebody is neutral. He stays away out of content. Doesn't give his opinion. So, he would say, "You're the experts, not me. Okay lang ako dito." Okay? Or, "I really don't have an opinion about this." That guy is neutral. Observer lang. Okay? Playing safe. Tando diin bukid. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? If you're always neutral, it's always good to see what is positive. Okay? Okay. No learning. Yes, there'll be no learning. All right. Now let's go to some more roles, class. Here one. I think this is one of the favorites of many. Walang pakialam. Yeah, tama yung term mo, Joy. Walang pakialam. Okay, ito yung listener. I think ito yung paborito ng marami. Okay? A listener is one who serves as audience. But you see, class, a good listener, you can't just be a listener, but be a good listener by showing your interest through your facial expression. Don't just look up the sky or the ceiling with a glassy eye as if, nothing is happening to you, but show your interest even though you are not saying much. Or maintains participative attitude while talking very little. Hindi yung listener nga, pero tulala. Kung si Jane pa. I like your words that you come up with. Sophia said that would be me sometimes. Yes, may sariling mundo. Lutang. Now you are giving me a great laugh, class. Listener nga, pero uwing-uwi na. Okay, your minds are very creative. Fly me to the moon. Angelique said, I love this role. Mentally on vacation. Okay, very good. Okay, let's move on to some more roles here. Another one is a timekeeper. Parang he puts it onto himself the responsibility to keep the time. This guy makes sure that the group stays on track and gets through a reasonable amount of material in the given time period. So he would say, we are having fun, but I think we have covered that point long enough. Or the timekeeper would say, we are running out of time. Let's proceed to another point. Okay? Okay. Ang galing nyo talaga magbigay ng mga wordings. Thank you for all your participation. Timer ng late. Hindi, timer ng yung naglalag yung discussion. The ring bearer. Okay, let's go to the next row. Here. I told you, it's good to participate, but whether you are contributing or distracting the learning process would depend on the kind of role that you choose to play. So here's one role, class. The antagonist. This antagonist, he rejects ideas without consideration, argues unduly on small points, okay, and blocks progress by going to another subject, or quarrels with the group or individuals, or interrupts discussion. Okay? So this guy would say, oh, that is wrong. Or, you should not say that. Or he would say, oh, I think you are entirely unreasonable. Or the antagonist would say something like, that is not important. Let's not waste time on that. Okay, let me look into your words here. Kalaban, kontrabida. The righties. Know-it-all role. Dismissive speck in the eye. Grabe talaga itong mga estudyante. Feeling perfect. Killjoy. Ikaw na. Alright, hostile. Okay. Jollibee. Kasumpong. Gusto niya sa kanya lahat. Sino siya? Ito si Jean Garcia at Paquito Diaz. Ano ito sila mga artista? Okay, bida-bida. Okay. All right. So I hope there is no antagonist in the class. Huh? All right. This is one negative role, class, that it would not be good for you to play in class. Here's another role. The dominator. The dominator monopolizes the conversation, lobbies for pet projects or topics, and he asserts authority and tries to lead the group. Ito yung tao, class, na ayaw ko ibigay sa kanya ang microphone because he would dominate the discussion. Okay? Ito yung, what does a dominator say? He goes this way, blah, 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 and more blah, blah, blah. And this is what I want to talk about, blah, 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 blah. And finally, the blah, 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 blah. For the last time, blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's the dominator. May mga taong ganyan, class. And people who are dominator, they have pet topics, Whatever is the discussion, it all ends up to that favorite topic. Okay? That's what we mean by a dominator. Okay. Let's see if there's another role here. Okay yan, pero mas gusto ko to. Okay, let me see. Here. The next role, did you see that? A clown. Okay, a clown disrupts the work of the group by horsing around, joking and mimicking. And he calls attention to himself by exhibiting unusual behavior. Charles says, me. So you mean you're a clown, Charles? Oh, it would be good to have a clown once in a while in a class, to break the monotony, but not in a way to disrupt the class. Okay, stress reliever. That's a very positive way of what do you call that? In calling a clown. Parang Gemma, why did you say parang si Christine? Damuhan sa grupo. Okay. Yeah, sometimes good, but minsan sobra na. Okay, the ball of sunshine. Ako gid, ma'am. To break the monotony. Okay, icebreaker. Yeah. I remember, class, we had, I think that was the second batch of students, face-to-face. And we really had a huge clown in class. He just had so many tricks. He would sit on his chair, and after a while, he would fall off his chair. He just do things deliberately like that, and the whole class would laugh. Or he would he would try to kick the shoes of some of his classmates away from their feet, Okay. Joking instead of contributing. And as a teacher, I have to handle that, right? So the clown says, hey, look at me. It's good to have a clown every now and then, but not much, all right? Okay. Masayahin lang talaga. Okay. I'm glad that many of you have a very positive way at looking things. Okay, let's look into another role. I think this one is the deserter. The deserter is one who leaves mentally without permission and intending never to go back. Okay? He goes AWOL, absence without leave. Ghosted. Nag-walk out. The deserter says, I'm out of here. Okay? Sayonara. Okay. Okay, so you see all those roles, class? So the question is, what role do you usually play? And what role have you not played yet? And what role will you start playing? Okay. So that is the challenge, class, in this lesson. Okay. Okay, so you look at that. Kung anong role, huh? And throughout this school year, just as you have been doing tonight, thank you for all your participation. You see, the class is fun with everyone and many of you participating. Okay, so these are the different roles. Some are very positive, some are distractive, okay, and some, would mean that the student will not learn much. If you just keep quiet, just continue to be neutral, okay? But please, please, don't be a deserter, okay? Wag mo kaming iwan, please, okay? All right, now, just one more thing before we take a break, asking questions in class. Now, it is all right, class, that we ask questions, but as your academic dean, let me give you some of these guidelines with regards to asking questions in class. Because asking questions is one way to participate, but we request that you will observe these guidelines when you are asking questions. Number one, remember we are only starting. There are still gaps in our minds, and bear in mind that what seem to be questions in your mind now will not anymore be questions after we're through with this training program. So that means sometimes, class, say we are studying the book of Genesis, okay, and then you would ask me a question in the book of Revelation, okay. I would rather tell you, okay, could you please wait for us to come to that part of the curriculum, okay. So when you ask questions, remember that they have still gaps, okay, and your question might even be better answered in a future course. Okay, so remember that. Number two, dwell on major questions, not on minor, trivial, classic questions. Here are some trivial questions, class, that I would get in class. Did Adam and Eve have neighbors? Now, we can have a long discussion with that if you bring up that in class. Or where did God stand when he created the universe? Okay, I got that question actually when I was teaching in IBC. Or another question, were there dinosaurs in Noah's Ark? Okay, so I'm giving you some trivial questions. That's why I say trivial. Okay, because this can generate, or this can be the beginning of a lot of discussion, but they are not really major concerns in relation to the subject matter that we want to highlight in our lesson, especially when I teach you Bible history. Okay, so if ever questions like that will come up, then I would say perhaps you can start a discussion with your group. Okay, so please evaluate your questions before you bring up them here in class. Okay, that is the second group reminder in asking questions. Number three, guideline in asking questions. Evaluate if the question is worth bringing up in class. Ask, will others need the information you wanted? Or will it will answering it help improve understanding of what is discussed? So if it is worth asking, do so. But if you think it will just take up so much time, please refrain from asking that question. Okay? Number 4, ask questions at the proper time. Avoid raising up questions when the teacher is building up in a climax. If you're listening in a discussion class, you would know that, sometimes we come to that point where we are really emphasizing an important truth. And so during that moment, please don't pop up a question. You know why? Because that can distract, the attention of the students, and you can miss or cause others to miss the important truth that the teacher wants to emphasize. Okay, so the timing also in asking questions is very important. Okay, so I am just giving those instructions, class, in asking questions because it should help us some more. Right? Now, participating in an online setting. I know this is not much of a need for many of you, but just to help others who may not be very techy, as they would say. Participating in an online setting, follow guidelines. How often students should contribute and what constitutes meaningful participation. Before the live class discussion, students can start their own discussions over video chats. Once you get your groupings, you can have a discussion because we will post in your notes. And then also participate in discussion boards or chat platforms like what we are having. Share your thoughts, ask questions, and respond to peers, and perform the different roles that we have just learned. You can join the polls. Okay, now you have been trained how to join the polls, and last night I really commend you the way you have participated in those poll questions. Okay. Celebrate accomplishments, recognize impactful contributions, highlight insightful comments, and give reward badges. If you notice me as a teacher class, as I read your assignments or you read your comments, I would commend a very good contribution. Or you also, if you read the comments or the posting of your classmates, do not hesitate to comment or to commend or to appreciate a very good contribution. Okay, so you celebrate accomplishments and good contributions. That's what we do in online setting. Okay, incorporate gaming like elements to motivate participation. Respond with emojis, GIF, or stickers. You have an activity before the class starts, and I really encourage you to participate, class. Okay, because that would really build up, even in the online setting, relationship and friendship and fun among you. Now, these are the tools for online participation. You are familiar with these. Your emojis, you can see that in your in Discord, are small pictorial symbols. Okay, so you try to study the emojis there and what kind of emojis is appropriate for you to put up to express your response. Okay, here are some popular emojis. For example, face with tears of joy. Okay, or a red heart symbolizes love, affection, or friendship. Now, an upside down face indicates sarcasm or playfulness. Here is a thinking face. Party popper. Sparkles signifies something special. A flower symbolizes beauty or appreciation. So you don't even sometimes have to write a word. You can just put up a flower to say that you're appreciating what has been said. Okay, now. So now you're putting up some emojis. What I'm trying to say, class, is see to it that you put up the appropriate emojis. Thank you for the flowers, okay? That means you appreciate me. thank you, okay? So remember, emojis can vary in interpretation, so content matters. Feel free to use them creatively to enhance your messages, okay? So choose the appropriate ones, class. Try to discover the meanings of these emojis and put up the appropriate one. Okay, another one is the GIF, or graphics interchange format. It's an image file format that can be either animated or still often used to express jokes, emotions, or ideas online. Okay, so here, can you put up an emoji to say thank you? Ano? Yeah. Okay, that's a GIF, I mean. Thank you. All right. Is this moving, Asaf? Who is this guy? Who is this actor? I forgot. Oh, I like that cat. Okay, thank you. All right, very good. Okay, so it's moving, huh? Oh, sea ribs, right? How about an emoji to express realization? I told you so. Okay. Very good. Okay. Oh, I love that monkey. Ang galing nyo, ang bilis nyo maghanap ng mga GIF. That's funny, Isabel. Okay. And say about a GIF to say God is good. All right. That's good. Okay. Very good, class. Very good. All right. So, of course, another online is the stickers. These are small images or graphics that people use to express emotions. Okay, now you're putting up some stickers, probably. How about putting up a sticker on being motivated? What is that? Okay. Jedediah. Okay. I like that little. All right. So I can do it. All right. Very good, class. Very good. So now we are going to have a workshop on participating in a classroom discussion, probably next week once the groupings have been made. So we will go back to this next week. So let's take a 5-minute break, and then we will go back to taking the test. Okay, some instructions, and then we will have a workshop. Okay, so take a break first. Thank you for all your beautiful and funny and very beneficial participations.